Hello, everyone, and welcome to my hobby home. My name is Kathy. Thank you for joining me today. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This morning, we are working on our Saturday sew-along, our Woodruff quilt. I believe right now what we are doing is taking our 2 square units, matching them, let's see, I think a contrasting fabric and sew them together. I think that's what we're doing today. I have been picking out fabrics. Yeah, we're using 2 contrasting, so let's say we have a black and white plaid, and then we do a red and green. So what we will do is sew these together like this. And we're going to do that. We're going to make 32 of these. So guys, let me show you some things that I've been doing. Now, in September, Tammy, myself, and Alicia with Quilty Bird Alicia are going to be doing the Yuletide Sampler too. I've been looking through all my fabrics, and I am finding bunches and bunches of fabric. I don't even know what this is. This is a panel with who knows how much yardage this is of some Christmas fabrics. I'm sure I got this at the virtual shop hop that I did in 2023. Let me see if I can find a selvage that tells what this is. Y'all may know it right off the top of your head, but I don't know what it is. It is a Riley Blake design Winter Wonder by Heather Peterson. Yes. So I'm pretty certain. Man, that's a lot of fabric. That's like several yards of fabric. What in the world was I thinking? I probably knew no better. And just ordered a lot of fabric. Okay, my husband just let my cat in. Apparently my cat, couldn't let me be in here by myself. I'm dropping fabrics. Let me get that up and then we'll get started. But before we get started, let me show you this. I thought this would be a real pretty fabric to do on that Yuletide sampler. And I have no idea what this panel looks like. How did I get 2 panels? My goodness, y'all. I got 2 panels. So one of those may be in a D-stash. I don't need no 2 panels. I don't know why I got 2 panels. Lord help me. Who knows? Who knows? So I can't be dropping this fabric. But I am going to slide this back in my bag here. But I thought this could be some fabric that I used on that Yuletide sampler. I'm not real sure though, because that's really not the same hues that I'm using for that sampler. So, I don't know. I really don't know. So, we're just going to get into this. I'm not going to need this because I'm pretty certain we're just doing the 2 contrasting squares. So, I'll have to be able to separate here. You know, we got reds and greens and blacks and grays, and I need to separate these out. I probably need to match them all up with something just to make sure I'm not going to have any that are with the same color. We don't want any with the same color. I got grays and blacks, so I think what I'll do is do the grays and blacks as a stack, the reds as a stack, and the green as a stack. So I think that's what we're going to do. And I've got a lot of reds. I've got some greens up in these reds, but there's kind of a mixture. Let's just get it started, guys. It seems like I'm procrastinating here. I hope your day has started fabulous. We've had a very eventful week this week. My younger sister's birthday was on the 10th, and my older sister's birthday was on the 11th. And I mean, I've been home though. I've not done anything. Oscar, I'm sorry, baby. My kitty cat is down here hissing at me because he is under my table and I actually kicked him, I guess. So he's hissing at me. But what we're doing is just taking just 2 contrasting fabrics and sewing them together at that 1/4 inch. And we will be making 32 of these today. I imagine this will be all that we do today, is just match these up, contrasting fabrics. But I have been, like I said, I've been looking at fabrics today, trying to figure out what I'm going to use. Now, if I don't figure what I'm going to use, if I don't figure it all out right now, that's okay, because they do have where they break the pattern down for you to do the sew along or the block of the month, or however you're going to do it. They do tell you for that particular piece how you need to do, how much fabric you need, and which is really good, because then you just need to pull out the fabric that you need for that next sewing session. And it's like really easy, Now, I do have a lot of sweet water that I can throw in with this, but mostly what I have is like woodland looking fabrics, and I would really like to stay with that, kind of that genre, I guess you're gonna, if I want to call it something, that theme. Kind of want it to be a woodsy, because the fabrics that I have is called Yuletide Forest. I found these in my stash, and that's the fabric I'm wanting to use for this quilt. I think it would be a beautiful quilt made out of these fabrics. Now, I know I'm using a lot of blacks with that, so I need to start using some greens with this. And I'm always pinning that seam, guys. I always pin the seam just so, whoa, because some of these did come from a charm pack. Now, I did cut a lot into charm squares out of a layer cake. I won't do that again. I don't like doing that. Even though I have gotten things from charm packs that were not exactly 5 inches. And the mini charms are even worse. I've gotten some mini charms that there's no way they're 2.5 inches. But I'm going to call this one a green, so I'm going to mix it with a black. But I will be able, you know, if I will have enough fabrics to do the Yuletide sampler, even if I go through my stash, because I do have a lot of sweet water that I can use. I have a lot of sweet water that I can use. But my goal is to get all of these done today. And then, of course, I will press them off camera. And that will be fine if we do that off camera. See, I've got another one here where my layer cake piece. Now, this one I didn't cut. It was already cut, but it's not, these are not coming out the right size. So I'm just going to suggest, well, first off, I'm going to suggest, if you can't get a solid charm pack, you know, all of the same fabric, which, you know, you can't do that. But, like I have an AccuQuilt, I can get yardage and cut it into 5-inch squares. That's what I'm going to start doing. I'm not going to be cutting these myself. That's too much room for error. Because I know I mess up on cutting a lot. Oh goodness, looks like I broke a thread. Well, I tell you what, that thread did not want to get, that did not want to get threaded. Now really, you know, the contrasting fabric, I really don't, I do care, but I don't care. Does that make sense? It's not a deal breaker for me if I don't have a contrasting fabric. I mean, if I have two reds, as long as they're different designs or patterns, you know, I'm okay with that. And y'all know how much I love, love, love having Christmas quilts. I love Christmas quilts. I love sewing Christmas quilts. And y'all, I am already watching Christmas movies. Well, it's Christmas in July. And that's what this quilt is, guys. This is our Christmas in July quilt. Making us a, well, I'm making a Christmas quilt. The quilt that we will be making in September with Tammy and Alicia. It's a Christmas quilt pattern. Now, I imagine you can do it in any fabrics you want to do it in, but it has snowflakes and Christmas trees, so you may want to do it in a Christmas fabric. I'm looking to see where my little Oscar is at. There, he's behind me asleep. He is something else. He takes care of me. He makes sure I'm okay. Now, when I go to get in bed, if I tell him it's time to go to bed, well, he's going to stay asleep on the floor over here until I wake him up. I will physically have to try to pick him up for him to get moving, because he's not going to move willingly once he's asleep. Now, some of these are just going to probably have to be off. This one here may be one of those that has to be a little bit off. I try to not let it be, but you know, if it is, it's okay. And this quilt kind of reminds me of the Disappearing 4-patch. That's what it reminds me of. And we've done that, but I just like this type of pattern So, of course, when I had a subscriber suggest this pattern a while back, I printed it because I was like, I know I'm going to make that, but I didn't know when I was going to make it. I put it in one of my project bags to be done, and I actually had a layer cake I put in with it, which I'm no longer going to do that. I'm not going to take a layer cake out to use on a pattern that calls for charm squares. Not going to happen. Not unless I have yardage that, well, you know, if I have yardage, it won't matter. But I will be using my Quilt. Now, if I can get an Quilt die that takes a layer cake and will cut it into the 5-inch squares, which I'm sure there's one out there. There's a die for that. But normally when you use your Quilt, you've got yardage, and honestly, when you use the Quilt, you're going to have a lot of waste. You're going to have a lot of fabric wasted. I feel like you do anyway. And like I said, I will be pressing these out after I get them sewed. I won't be pressing them out on my table because I've got a quilt over here. I've got a project box. I've got a lot of stuff over here that I'm hoping to get done this weekend, and so I've got it laying over here. So it's stuff's kind of in the way. Now the quilt that I have laying back here, it's completely done. Y'all saw that yesterday evening. You saw it Friday evening. But I want to be able to hang it up for you guys to see it in my updates. My updates this week, I may actually have a good bit of stuff done for my updates this week. Now, I know when I go back to work, y'all may not get a lot of sewing because it is going to take it out of me going back to work. And I know it because I know y'all hear the cat. She's trying to get in here because my husband has been giving them their flea medicine today. And yes, in Louisiana, you have to treat your animals monthly, because if you don't, you have an infestation. And we do everything we can to not. I have an exterminator that comes once a month and sprays the house for everything. Fleas, spiders. I don't like spiders. No, sirree, I don't like spiders. Because when I moved in this house, I told them, I said, whatever you have to spray to keep spiders away, because they told me there's nothing really that you can spray that keeps spiders away. But if you take away their food source, you won't have them. I'm like, take their food source away. Do it, because I don't want spiders. I am terrified of spiders. I've seen what they can do, and we do have poisonous spiders here. We have venomous spiders. We have brown recluse. We have black widows. I don't want none of that. No part of any of that. So my exterminator comes first Tuesday of every month and takes care of that situation, so I don't have to worry about it. Guys, this makes me happy to be able to be using some of my stash here. This is the Smash the Stash Christmas in July Saturday sew along with the Woodruff. This is a very fun pattern. I like a pattern that this is a very easy scrappy quilt also. Like if you have a neutral solid, like I do have a layer cake over there that is a cream color, and that's the whole thing. It's like a Bella Solids. So that would be a good one that I could hit on the AccuQuilt. Right now my AccuQuilt's got stuff stacked on it. It's where I'm putting all of my backing fabrics. I do have another quilt that I think I'm going to quilt myself, the Battenberg. And it's just going to be a simple, not all over quilting quilt. Or not all over quilted quilt. Okay, let's see. So now we're about to have just red and greens, because the black and grays are used up. I have one more gray. I don't know which one I have more of. I think I have more greens than reds, which that won't be good. But I may have to do a bunch of reds together. I mean, a bunch of greens together, not red. Did I say red? But whatever we have to do, we will do. That will look strange to have some of the same color. Oh, there's a gray. Right now what I'm trying to do is get some of the greens out. I'll do that gray on the green. I think this is a green and a red. But guys, do y'all have a lot of things going on at one time right now? I know I have several things going on right now, and I'm just trying to wind things up, so I just don't have a lot of extra things. I would like to get to where I have like some 3-hour projects. I'm just going to use this green one that ain't the right size, but I don't care. I don't care it's not the right size. We'll make it work. Somehow we will make it work. We have a way of making things work. Looks like it's only like 1/4 of an inch. 1/4 of an inch is easy with stretchable fabrics. Yeah, I've already got it stretched out to make up the difference of that. Okay, so I'm going to use the gray with a green. I'm going to keep the plaids because the plaids you can kind of use with the same color because it's black and green, so it doesn't make a big deal there. You can't really tell that. Guys, I tell you what, I'm feeling so much better to be in the sewing room today. If my glasses would just quit sliding down my face. It's been so warm that my glasses just, my skin is so balmy that my glasses just slide right down. So now we just have green and red. I'm going to put the plaids kind of to the back here, because like I said, those can go with a green. I don't know if I have any more plaids in there. I don't see plaids. I have a lot of this one, and I have a lot of the ones with the reindeer heads on it too. We definitely don't want to end up with two writing squares together like that. Two with the alphabets. So what I do once I get to that center seam, take that pin out, I just line up the other two pieces. Just get them going, guys. Just get them going. Okay, so we got another green, and I got a kitty cat. She's, oh, that's a lot of writing. We don't want two with writing, so we're doing two, one with the writing and the reindeer head. So we're doing 2 units the exact same way. The one I just sewed was just like this one. That's okay. We won't put them close together in the design of it. Okie doke. So we are just moving along pretty fast here, actually. But I only want to do like one step at a time. I know that we'll delay it, maybe stretch it out a little bit, but we'll look to see what the next step is, to see if we think we can go another step tonight. Because I don't think we can, because we will have to press these out, and that'll take a little while to do, because I'll have to get my iron set up, because I don't have it set up right now. I wasn't planning on ironing this session. I was planning on ironing after recording. I know y'all can hear that cat. She is adamant about getting in here with me. And my Oscar, he's still taking a nap over here. He likes his naps. I like mine too. We've been on the same page this past week. We've both napped all day. I nap until, well, I may wake up at 4 o'clock, but I will go back to sleep and nap until 11. And I know that's not good, but I feel like my body probably needs that, because I do push myself when I am awake. Y'all see what I'm doing right now. I sew, and like today I'm going to try to get rid of some furniture out of my bedroom. I have a little table and chair in my bedroom that I'm going to see if my older daughter wants it, because that way if she wants it, then I can give it to her and get it out of there. And I'm going to set me up my big ironing board up in my bedroom where I can press my clothes, because I'm getting to where I wear a lot more 100% cotton, more organic, fibers, just because they breathe so much better and they feel better. And I did this back years ago. I quit wearing all of these synthetic fibers on my body, and you would be amazed at how good you feel, your skin feels. And so I'm doing that again. Okay, see, I have one red left, and then I have a bunch of greens left. So I have to see which one. I just have to make sure I'm not doing the same ones together. So we're going to have some greens that are sown with greens. That always happens to me. I imagine if I had sown all of the grays with greens, then I probably wouldn't have this situation. But I thought I had more reds than greens. And I might have, because I used a lot of the grays and blacks with the reds. And you know, guys, the good thing about sewing is everything always comes out in the wash. It always does. Like having to put two together. Well, if you have a big enough difference in the design of the fabrics, it does look like a contrasting fabric. So it's not going to be that big of a deal that they're the same colors. I think I am going to have a plaid with the reindeer head. Okay, so let's see what other, I'm going to put these two together because one has red in it and that'll offset just the green. And these were too close to the other one that I have left, so I'm going to do the plaid with the other one that's left. I have one plaid piece left. Oops, I hit that pin, so that needle will need to be replaced. But we are down to the end, so we're not going to worry about replacing it right now. We are on our last, technically 4-patch. I will need to press these before we go doing our next step. Which if it's the one I'm thinking it is, we're going to be cutting a strip and flipping it. So let's get these taken apart. Okay, and I see how they want me to do this. We will press we have a color on the top right and a color on the bottom left. We will press to the bottom left. I hope that's how I've got it done. Nope, that's not how I got it done. Well, yeah, I could do it like that. I can always turn it and make it be how it says to do it. But I am going to trim these apart. And guys, this is just a real quick sewing one today. This is all we're going to do on this one, is just sew these 32 4-patch units. And it tells us they should measure 9.5 inches square. So measure out your 4 patches, trim them if they need to be trimmed, press them and press first, please press first, and then trim if they need to be trimmed. And that is what I will do, but I'll do that off camera. So I will have them pressed before we come back next week. And then what we will do is, it tells us make a 2.5 inch cut away from one side of the 4-patch. So technically this is like a disappearing 4-patch, and we've done that already before, and we'll do it again with this one. I just want to get these trimmed apart so y'all can see. Y'all see this stacking up over here? How many it is? Okay. So here are our 32 4 patches. I will be pressing these out before we come back. And when we come back, what we will be doing is trimming the 2.5 inches. It says away from, okay, I see how it shows. We're going to trim it from the side and put it, say we trim from the right side, we'll sew it to the left side, and then we'll cut from the top and sew to the bottom. So that's going to be fun. And that's the same thing as the disappearing 4-patch. And then we will start laying them out. So I'm guessing we will do the cutting and the piecing of the disappearing 4-patch next Saturday. I think we have 2 Saturdays after today, maybe. I may be wrong. Let's see. Today's the 12th, so we add 7 to that. That'll be the 19th. Add 7. That is 26. So after today, we have 2 more Saturdays. We should be able to get this done, hopefully. But guys, thank you for joining me this morning. I hope y'all are having a wonderful day. I hope it's a beautiful day where you're at. I hope you got to sew along with me. Give me a thumbs up if you're able to. If not, that's okay. If you're just listening, give me a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, please do. Feel free to leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I do try to respond to each and every comment personally. And as always, until I see you again, I hope you have a very blessed day. Bye, guys.